There is hatred for the Jews right now.
Throughout the history of the church, across Europe right now, even before the church, there has been hatred of the Jew. And we have two options. When you look at the pan-historical hatred of the Jewish people, persecution of the Jewish people, it doesn't matter where they lived, who they were living amongst, they have been hated. You have two options. One is, you can say, the perfidious Jew. You know, they're genetically predisposed to being hated. They deserve to be hated. They are genetically more, deserving of hatred than any other people. Or you can conclude that God has a purpose and a plan for them. And the manifestation of hatred through willing vessels is the manifestation of satanic hatred against the broad plan that God's put into place. We believe that when all is said and done, God himself is going to redeem all of creation. Everything that he made in the beginning he made the heavens and the earth, and he said it's good. He's going to redeem all of that. The nations, the earth will be redeemed. Our bodies will have immortal bodies. Jesus will rule and reign on the earth. We believe that. But there's a lot of Christians that think, well, after Jesus, he just kind of universalized it, and he did away with these old, the nation of Israel, the land of Israel, and all of these scholars, they say things like, well, the land of Israel, God's not involved in real estate. These things were just an advanced metaphor of the much greater things that he's going to do. Now, I would say that in the New Testament, he opens it up, he expands it. It's greater than we can imagine. But that original promise back in the Abrahamic covenant that God said to Abraham, I'm going to give you and your descendants this specific piece of property, that is the very physical launching pad, the foundation from which he will fulfill all of his plans of redemption for all of creation. You cannot do without the foundation.
Yes. That's so good.
This hatred of Israel is supernatural. It's demon almost. When you see it, it just can't be a normal. We just hate those people.
Right.
Yeah.
So
there's a supernatural power, I believe, to try to destroy the written plan of God for the end of the ages.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it's all about. I think the devil knows. The headlines have said these last few weeks, Israel basically now stands alone. It's like America has deserted them. And what does the Bible say?
Yeah. Yeah, it says in the last days, all the nations of the earth will gather against Israel, against Jerusalem.
Absolutely. And here we are, and the church is still fiddling, not why Rome burns, but why hell burns.
Yeah, yeah. The whole thing begins. And this is, I've been asking so many Christians in the past years I was working on this. I say, good Christians that know the Scriptures, I say, what is the Abrahamic covenant? I've been amazed at how many don't know what the Abrahamic covenant is. And the fact of the matter is, that if we want to understand the Bible, if we want to understand the new covenant, we have to understand the Abrahamic covenant. It's the foundation for everything. And in sum, this is a promise that God made. He took these animals, a cow, he cut it in half, and then a goat, and a couple birds, and he makes this row. And the Lord himself, in the form of a smoking pot and a smoking oven and a flaming torch, he walks in between the pieces. What God is saying is that may I, the creator of heaven and earth, die like these animals if I don't fulfill what I have promised. That he was cutting a covenant. He was making an eternal promise that he would give his people that land. And what we see throughout the nations today is the rage against the covenant.
Oh, people, do you get that?
Wow.
The devil's goal is to make God a liar.
Oh.
And God is not a liar.
He's a promise keeper. Amen.